Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to write a Python function to separate odd and even values from one list into two separate lists. So I have my input list here and it has both odd and even values. First I will write a Python function which is called separate underscore odd underscore even, and this function will accept a list as an input variable. Next I define two empty lists called odd and even. The odd and even values from this input list will be added to these two lists and will be finally returned from the function. Next I will write a for loop to separate odd and even values. So this is the for loop that I use to separate these values. Let's go one by one line. So what is happening is I'm iterating over each item in this input list, and I use this operator called modulo, and it simply returns the remainder for division. For example, if the item is 4, this line will return the remainder of 4 divided by 2. So the modulo will return 0. In a different scenario, if the item is 7, when the 7 is divided by 2, it will return 1. If the output of this function is 0, then the input value should be an even one. If the output of the modulo function is 1, then it is an odd value. It should be added to this odd list. What this append function does is it simply add an element to the end of a list. So it's a list operator, and it is important to understand this here too. This operation will happen iteratively over the list, and finally this function returns odd and even lists. So then our requirement is done. Now we can apply our function to our input list and see what happens. So here's the list. Run the function and then apply the function to the list. So here we see there are two output lists. The first one has all the odd values and the second one has all the even values. So I hope you understood the idea behind the code and how this function works. It's especially important to understand how this modulus works and how the append function works, and also how simply a for loop works. So if you have any questions, put a comment below. I will try to help.